Anandishwari, Anandishwari, Nithya Anandishwari, Uyirkellam unavalittum Anandishwari, Nithya Anandishwari, Anandishwari, Nithya Anandishwari, Uyirkellam unavalittum Anandishwari, Nithya Anandishwari, Ittiliye nee alikka Anandishwari, Nithya Anandishwari, வாழ்வில் இடர்கள் நீங்குதம்மா ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, இட்டிலியை நீ அளிக்க ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, வாழ்வில் இடர்கள் நீங்குதம்மா ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, சட்டினியை நீ அளிக்க சட்டனவே சங்கடங்கள் சடுதியிலே மறையுதம்மா ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, சாம்பாரை நீ ஊற்ற ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி, நித்ய ஆனந்த
நித்யம் விமலமச்சலம் சர்வதி சாட்சிபூதம் பாவாதீதம் திரிகுணரஹிதம் சத்குரும் தம் நமாமி. Nithyananda, welcome to the Avani Tiruvizha Brahmotsavam. We are live from Kailasa, Madurai. You can see we are going to be sharing with you the very darshan of Meenakshi Chokkanadar. Sundareshwara and Meenakshi are gracing every day in this Brahmotsavam, sharing with us their very grace and darshans. The Nijavatara is the Aryachavatara, meaning that the living deity in the flesh and blood comes as the Archavatara, or the deity in the embodied form as a Vigraha or an idol. It is a living, breathing being, and that is the way we connect with him, and that is the way he is really. It is a matter of our sensitivity and our ability to receive them and understand they are really there. The way we do that is through the preparations. These Brahmotsavams or grand festivals, where from the beginning to end we are with them, they are with us, and they come into the very streets of the city, and we worship them and we connect with them and we cherish their very darshan. The Nijavatara is the living deity of the person or the body embodied form of Paramashiva, Meenakshi Sundareshwara, and then the Archavatara is the deity that manifests as an incarnation of the same consciousness and comes to accept our archana or our love and devotion. Today we get to see the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara, and one of the most beautiful leelas of Meenakshi Sundareshwara, Paramashiva himself graces and teaches people. One of the story goes that one of the devotees of Paramashiva, Somasundareshwara, Adiyar Kanallan, he did a tremendous contribution in his life by growing his own food and giving that same food, cooking it and giving it as the Annadhanam. And this gave him so much of Shiva Punyam, means the positive karma, and gave him the fruits of the karma, and he was able to enjoy quite a prosperous and luxurious life. Then Paramashiva wanted to test this man's original will. Is he behind the wealth, or is he behind the karmic fruits, or is he behind the greeds, or is he truly a selfless man who does Annadana? And with this, Paramashiva tests the man by depleting the yield of the crop of his farm. And by depleting it slowly over a few years, the man was still persevering and continued to give the Annadhanam. No matter if he was dwindling, he would continue to serve the people, the Shivanadiyars, the devotees of Shiva who come. He would continue to serve them the Annadhanam. And in that also he came to a state of almost poverty. So he was so desperate, and he went to Paramashiva pleading, not for saving his life for any personal gain, or not that when he saw that his wealth was all gone, that he wanted his wealth back. not for any personal reason, but for the single reason to do the seva to the devotees of Paramashiva, to do the seva to Paramashiva himself, who comes in the form of devotees. To do that, he goes to the Lord and pleads that I need to have the crop, I need to have the good yield to be able to give the food again and again in Sannidhaanam. And there a voice comes from the sky and tells him, go back to your land and you will find a granary filled with rice, an inexhaustible rice, in fact, such that it would never deplete. And he was given this granary, he was given this granary to see the deity and to serve the people again and again, and to be able to connect with Somasundareshwara. And again, you can see how the life goes on, how people continue to worship. And here we are beautifully having the darshan from Kailasa, Madurai. Beautifully, with the divine grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we are able to have the darshan of Meenakshi Devi. She is gracing on the Rajita Yadi. The Yadi is a mystical beast that was used to construct the temples. A magnificent large animal that had the trunk of an elephant and the paws of a lion. And this Yadi animal was a magnificent animal that you will find in the Madurai architecture, and it was a real mythical beast that was a devotee of Somasundareshwara. And it on this magnificent Vahana, Devi Meenakshi is seated, and beautifully you can see her gracing today. We bow down to her as the cosmic mother, as the mother of the whole universe, the mother of all of us, showering us continuously. We connect with her also as the very as how we connect with Swamiji, who is the very incarnation of Meenakshi Devi. If we celebrate his administrative and charismatic quality to build a nation, to rule, and to create the opportunity for enlightened civilization for all of us, it is by the grace and blessings of Meenakshi Devi, who manifested again as our Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We bow down to Meenakshi Devi, Angayar Kanni. She is here really. So, all of you, we encourage all of you to also bow down, have your hands in a prayerful mode, and fold your hands in this Namaskar Mudra, and just have a prayer as we are having the darshan of Meenakshi. And now we are also having the darshan of Sundareshwara Swami, who is coming on the Adhikara Nandi. Adhikara Nandi is the administrative authority of all of the universe itself. Nandi is the vehicle of Paramashiva. Adhikaratva means the authoritative ruler. And beautifully, the Sukhanadar is gracing us this evening on the Adhikara Nandi. Chokkanadar is the local name that they lovingly call their Lord as he lived with them. That is the way they cherish him. In this way, the processions and the yatras of the deities coming out of the temple is the same celebration of us living with him and him living with us. And we worship Somasundareshwara in this divine evening where they are gracing us on the Rajita, Adhikara and Vahana. Take a moment and offer your prayers. Tiruvilladil Puranam goes on to tell how Somasundareshwara would bestow the boons and fulfill the wishes of his devotees immediately, and has the most amount of patience and mercy on all of us. Let us worship him, pray to him, and offer to him our devotion. The whole city, the whole temple ecosystem is celebrating Sundareshwara in this Brahmotsavam. This Brahmotsavam is the time when Somasundareshwara himself came as Sundara Raja Pandian and rule the whole cosmos from this very location of the Shyamalapeetha of the Madurai city. And it is in this very place that Somasundareshwara has today, in a few days from now, the Pattabhishekam, the coronation ceremony. This is a beautiful way of the ruling having handed over from Meenakshi Devi to Somasundareshwara Swami. Meenakshi Devi will rule the whole universe from the Madurai Samrajyam for 4 months, from Chitre, Tamil month, from Chitre to Avani, and from Avani to the next year, Chitre, Somasundareshwara will rule. And in this Brahmotsavam, beautifully, as we just told one of the stories from the Tiruviliyadal, this way, every day we'll be celebrating one leela of Paramashiva as he graces as Somasundareshwara in in ways that are most even unusual sometimes, giving the moksham, the liberation to the bird animals, to the different mammal animals, and also giving the blessings to those who are who have done grievous sins in their life also. Paramashiva takes care of them, gives them the space, and tells them how to find themselves back in the space of oneness with Paramashiva. And of course, also we are also having the continuous Annadhanam going on in Kailasa, Madurai. Beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving this very tradition set forth by Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves. This space of Annadhanam really heals the whole ecosystem and the whole community all the way till the space of Kailasa to raise the whole collective consciousness. Many of these devotees have come from various locations outside of the city, not knowing where their next meal will be, not knowing if they'll be able to have a place to sleep or some food to have their next meal. Putting all that aside, putting their regular comforts and their regular life aside, they moved into the have the darshan of Paramashiva to really come out of whatever it is that they're going through, or have the darshan that this deep seeking, this deep yearning that they have for Paramashiva overshadows all of their day-to-day food and day-to-day desires. And in this way, when they overcome just these small comforts and just want to have the darshan of Paramashiva, and they have the darshan, and they are literally in that moment Paramashiva themselves. They are Somasundareshwara and Meenakshi. So we receive them as such, and we are honored to serve them with the Annadhanam, which is having 11-course meal, or people are able to have full meals. And beautifully, this does so much contribution to those who are pilgrims who are journeying from outside, and those who are living inside the city also, to reduce also any possibility of any crimes or any problems around, because this really heals the nature of the person to be desperate for their next meal, to be desperate for their hunger in their life, or to provide for their family joyously. So Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the original way that the world, that the society was sustained and given a hope, given the truth that your Paramashivatva, your very space as Paramashiva, you having the devotion to Paramashiva and cherishing yourself in Shiva Bhakti, that is the supreme, that is the most important, above the day-to-day problems that you have or anything else. So this way, bringing Shiva Bhakti back and literally reviving Shaivism is the way that Annadhanam is being contributing to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the whole world, and in this way doing so much of benefit for anybody and everybody who come and have the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara. Beautifully, the Annadhanam is being served continuously for the past 10 days in itself, and it will be continuing for the length of the Brahmotsavam and beyond. And you can also donate with a single time donation. You can scan the QR code that is presented to you and make a donation for the Annadhanams that are going on. And you can also scan the QR or go to the link in the description below and become a patron by signing up for our Patreon service, where you can regularly donate for the ongoing Annadhanams in all of the Kailasa embassies around the world, where 10,000 meal plus are being served around the world. It is an opportunity to be a practicing Hindu, to come out of our criminal negligence and serve the world with true Hinduism and with the true following of Hinduism. So we welcome you all to give your donations and celebrate this special during this auspicious time of the Somasundareshwara Pattabhishekam. The auspicious Kumbha Lagnam is going to be when the Paramashiva will be coronated as the Sundara Rajapandian, and he will be just magnificently gracing us on that day. We'll also be having the divine presence and the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for this event, and we'll be able to see his darshan and also celebrate him as the reviver and the inheritor of the spiritual kingdom of Shyamalapeetha, Sarvajnapeetham, inherited from Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves, brought out to the world by Meenakshi Sundareshwara. The original organization of the world was done by Meenakshi Sundareshwara, and they set forth it with this beautiful spiritual kingdom known as the Shyamalapeetha, Sarvajnapeetham, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd Guru Maha Sannidhaanam of this very Shyamalapeetha. And we are seeing the devotees come together and have the Annadhanam. Yes. Now we have a short clip for you all where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares about the Madurai Samrajyam and talks about how it is one of the most centerpieces in the whole universe, and how they Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves created it and gave the world an opportunity to live an enlightened life. It was a literal new DNA coming forth, and a new kind of a species of existence in the existence. And they were so magnificent in their way of giving enlightenment to everyone, and no matter who they are, elevating them from out of their suffering and giving them the chance to be in oneness. And of course, all of us can join in the Paramashiva Home program that is going on right now. In the Paramashiva Home program, you can celebrate the very truths of what is being even shared, even the devotion with which we are sharing the stories of the devotees of Paramashiva, how they come out of their problems, how they align themselves so beautifully to understand that everything is simply Paramashiva's leela. And in the story that we just heard, even in the times of trials and the times of low times, in the times where someone would be feeling that they're absolutely abandoned, or they feel absolutely left out from any existence, or there's no truth of anybody helping me in this moment. Especially at these times, even in those times, how the devotees of Paramashiva held on to the truth that it is Paramashiva only who's creating this situation for us. We will be able to raise ourselves. We will be able to come out and giving that hope for themselves. That is the way that we are cognized. In such a beautiful way, all of these leelas help us also have the best cognition about ourselves, about Ishvara, God, and about the world itself. And these are the powerful cognitions that all of us Hindus should embrace, because these are the truths in our tradition that really shape the way we cognize the world, and we can do a big difference in the world, leading the world to a better future and a healing, especially among the world that is suffering from so much of negativity, so much of distraction, so much of wars and fear of wars going on. This way of embracing Hinduism and cherishing it is the way that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving, especially through the services like the Annadhanam that is going on. So yes, we have a short clip where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism talks about the Sundara Rajapandian and his leelas in Madurai.
Meenakshi and ruled this Pandya kingdom, he became Sundara Pandya. That action became an independent energy of Sundara Pandya. Just yesterday, I was reading the Akashic records in the night. I verified again and again. Earlier when I was seeing, I felt he has taken 3 bodies. Yesterday I saw he has taken more than 11 bodies. Only to play in and around Madurai. Please understand, in this way, no other geographical place is equivalent to Madurai. Where Shiva has taken 11 bodies to play just in Madurai. See, in one body he has played in many places. That record is there. When he assumed one body, he has gone to many places and did his leelas. In one body, doing leelas in 11 places, there are enough records. But 11 bodies to do leelas in one place, only in Madurai's history, the record is there. More than 11 bodies he has assumed at different times to play the leelas. The leela he performed, the first body he assumed to perform the leelas in Madurai is marrying Meenakshi. To marry Meenakshi and all the leelas related to that time, marrying Meenakshi and bringing Vaigai to Madurai, all those leelas were performed in one body. That body is directly under the Sundareshwara's linga. The main Garbha Mandir, under the Sundareshwara linga, that body is resting. It is there in Jiva Samadhi. And second, he has assumed one more body to build embankment for Vaigai river and converting all the foxes into horse to save his disciple Manikavasagar. All those leelas, around 40 years he was in that body and performed many leelas. That body is resting in our property near Dinamani Takis. There is a place in Madurai near Dinamani Takis. There is a samadhi inside Madurai Adinam property. It is called Sundaranar Samadhi. And Sundarananda's Jiva Samadhi, people used to think it is one of the 18 Siddhas. It is not one of the, of course, it is one in the 18, but Shiva himself assumed the human body and performed. 40 years he was in that body. That body is resting in Madurai, the place Dinamani Takis, opposite to that Takis, there is a property, belongs to Madurai Adinam property. There he is resting. And the third body, which he assumed to give sugar cane to stone elephant, and stone elephant ate that sugar cane. For that leela, he assumed one more body that is there inside the temple under the samadhi of, under the shrine of Ellamalla Sittar. Under his murti, that third body is there. Still, I am not able to trace the other places of the remaining 8 bodies. I could see cosmically where are they, but in the Madurai map I am not able to pinpoint where the remaining 8 bodies are. Soon I will study the Madurai map and overlap my cosmic map on Madurai map and give you guys the exact points where the bodies he assumed are resting and radiating. I tell you, if you see from this angle, no other place, even in Kailash, is only one body is resting. There are 1 lakh enlightened beings' bodies are resting. That is different. But his own, the body which he somehow, Madurai people had a very close, hearty connection with Mahadeva. Even for small things, he will assume a body. Come here and play. This was the place where he was very playful and joyful, without any of the so-called social laws, regulations, rules, and the dharma which he himself created. here. All that fellows, they became overnight, they become again wolf and bite and kill all the remaining horses who are there. And that poor king is now pauper. In which dharma it is accepted? In which shastra it is accepted? He has done everything possible. He comes down as a worker for the old lady, saying that, see, once there was a flood, huge flood in Vaigai river, and king ordered all the citizens of Madurai should take up one portion and cover it with mud and build an embankment. So all of them have taken up one portion. One old lady, Vandi, her job is that making idli and puttu. Puttu is those days breakfast. She will make all this and sell for people. Still now, in Madurai it is a very popular business. Go out in the night, you will see hundreds of shops. The outside street, they will be making these idlis and selling, breakfast and selling. It is still their tradition. Now it is called Kushbu idli. In those days, it's a tradition of Vandi. So she used to make this pittu and sell. Those days breakfast. She did not get anybody to cover her portion, and she herself can't do. She is too old. She prays to Sundareshwara. This whole city, still now, any problem, the only person they turn to is Sundareshwara. They don't trust anybody else. They just turn towards Sundareshwara. And she's the old lady. She can't get a worker to fill her portion, to do her job. She turns towards Sundareshwara. O Chokkanada, Sundareshwara. This guy could have just one thought, the whole Vaigai would have built, add embankment automatically. He does not do that. He comes down, assuming human body and bargaining with that lady. You should give me the pittu as much as I want, but I will work only for 3 hours. He says, I will work only for 2 jama. Sorry, 2 muhurta. 1 muhurta is 1.5 hours. I will work only for 2 muhurta, but you should give me as much as I want. This poor lady, she doesn't have anybody else. So she says, all right, go ahead. You can see what is puttu. Come on, show me. This is puttu. Those days breakfast. So she doesn't have anybody else. So no other option. She accepts the bargain. This fellow finally finishes eating everything she cooked. After that, it doesn't work. He goes there and lies down in that bed. So he goes and lies down in the banks of Vaigai. I also traced the palace he had in Vaigai. Just in between, the mid of the water, he had a palace where he used to drink with that, all the bhutas. He was not a womanizer. He used to drink and gamble. He will have all these bhutas around and they will play the dice. He will gamble with them. Finally, what is there? Finally, he will cheat all of them. And he was not a womanizer. But he was used to drink and gamble. Anyhow, so he went and lie down in the bank of Vaigai. King comes in the evening to see whether the embankment work is done. He sees all parts have been covered except his portion, the Vandi's portion. King got very annoyed and asked whose portion it is. They said this is Vandi, old lady's portion. He asked, naturally she won't be able to do. Who is doing for her? They showed this guy has been employed by her, but from morning he is not doing anything, he is just lying there. So king calls him and asks, who are you? This fellow says, who are you to ask me this? King says, I am the king of this Madurai. He says, that is the way so many people are thinking, but actually I am the king. There was a strong argument. Finally, king was very angry and he took his sengol, the golden staff with which he rules the country, and gave a strong blow in the back of Sundareshwara. When that beating fell on Sundareshwara, when that stick fell on the Sundareshwara, at that same moment he showed to the king, he is the Antaryami, he is the indweller of every being, cosmos. So the whole world, whole universe, including himself, had that beating. The whole cosmos, including the king, had the mark of that golden staff, scepter, golden scepter's mark, and king was shocked. There he sees Sundareshwara standing with Meenakshi and smiling. King realized who came to play in the form of a worker, and he fell at the feet of Sundareshwara, asked him to apologize. Then Sundareshwara says, just because of Vandi's feeling connection, to please her, to eat her food, to enjoy her puttu, breakfast, I came and I enjoyed. He liberated, he gives enlightenment to Vandi and blesses the king and disappears. Till the end, he has not done his job. I bless you all.